I think workplaces are not so tolerant of people with, I would say, neurodivergent. They're not so tolerant of neurodivergent people. And it's just minor things that can be changed to make it more inclusive for people like, that are on the spectrum, or even people with ADHD, people that have speech deficits, things like that. It's very small things, and workplaces can do that. For example, like an ADHD person, they will not function optimally seated at a computer for 8 hours of a day. They will
Mm,
function optimally if they're allowed to work in maybe 30-minute spans, and thereafter maybe have a 10-minute break, have a walk around or something like that, come back to their desk and continue working. Maybe also like various tasks at one point in time. So they'll be working on different things at the same time in order, like, that's just the way their brain works. So, if workplaces just changed the conventional way of doing things, other neurodivergent people would be able to function in that environment. I know, like, I saw this one video where it said this little autistic boy doesn't speak, but he can communicate by pointing out the letters. So he is able to spell the letters to make up words. And what his dad did was to help him communicate. His dad had the alphabet tattooed on his arm. So when the little boy wants
yes.
to talk, he just points to the alphabets on his arm. So, it's like minor things that can be changed. It's not like huge, expensive changes. It's just
Yes.
small changes that can happen that can make workspaces more inclusive for the neurodivergent. I would assume it would be the same for people with other disabilities,
Yes.
that just minor changes and it will be inclusive.
Okay. Yeah, you've mentioned quite a bit in terms of building inclusive workplaces. I love how you've been explanatory about these things, because as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, one day if you grow into this big corporation, we also
Yes.
need you to be aware of how are you building an inclusive works. Companies sometimes have misconceptions about people that they hire or about who they should hire. And if
Yeah.
we bring these up to the world out there, that there is awareness that you can think this is who you need, but because you've selected some people out, you're not getting
Yes.
something of value at the end of it.
So basically, the best person for the job might not be the person that scores the highest on a test. The best person might not score the highest on a test. They might